Well, I think we should be praying for Kate and everybody that stands for elected office, Tim. I mean, I know all the candidates. We are a family. We're all friends, and my one hope is that we have an honest and an open debate about all of the issues. I mean, Kate and I have spoken about these things over the course of the recent past, and I guess she has to think about how she wants to handle these things. I probably take a slightly different view than some others might take. I mean, for me, my faith is important. It shapes who you are, but you're always facing this question: but how do you align your faith to the responsibility that you have as an elected politician to represent all your constituents? And I guess you have to sort of think through on all these moral issues where you stand. For me, I actually take the view that let me express it this way: that God's church is open to everybody, regardless of their sexuality. I mean, I've got within the SNP in Westminster, as you'll know, a number of gay and lesbian parliamentarians. A number of them are actually Christians, and I feel very strongly that the church must be a place of refuge for people to come to for sanctuary, and that we're all God's children. We don't judge anybody else. It's God that judges all of us. And when I'm getting to with all of that, personally, I actually think we should celebrate the opportunities for gay and lesbian people to be able to have same-sex partnerships, same-sex marriage. I accept that that's a robust debate in the church community. But I guess all of us have to sort of think through how do we evaluate our issues of faith in terms of the society that we live in today.
And I guess, I mean, Kate would also, I think, say that she also very strongly agrees the church is open to everyone, but she seeks to be faithful to what the Bible teaches. And when you look at her answers, she gives that very honest and open and maybe damaging answer to her personal career prospects, who we'll wait and see. But she then goes on to say that as a legislator, she's not going to change the clock back. She respects the law and treats people as equals. So do you think that those answers are going to be good enough? Do you think her opponents will be able to resist the temptation to use her faith as a stick to beat her with?
I don't believe that her opponents would behave in that kind of way. I mean, there is a question of how she'll be judged with other people. I think, when we kind of step back from this and you look at the issues of respect for minorities of a different kind, of course, one of the things that we should emphasize in that is the rights of those of us that have faith as well, to be able to celebrate that and to express our views. As I say, I take a slightly different position that Kate does in this. She needs to think through what she wants to say and how she wants to face up to this. But I would say to anybody that's involved in this debate is that everybody has to be treated with respect. And we must respect the decisions that people take. And of course, those voting in the election will weigh up all sorts of things when they decide who they want to vote for, whether it's any of the three candidates that are so far declared. Who knows, others may come forward as well.
That's right.
But I hope that what we have is an informed debate about all of the matters that the membership of the SNP will consider before they cast their votes in this election.
I wonder, when looking at some of the reactions to the things that Kate has said, as she's explained how her faith influences how she thinks on these matters, there seems to be a lack of curiosity as to why a person might have such countercultural views and not be a hateful person. And I don't see very many people looking beyond that. Do you think maybe by Kate being very upfront very early, she actually might invite people then, once they've let their anger settle, if they are angry with what she said, to maybe ask some questions as to what on earth might it be that might make somebody believe and live in such a countercultural way?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, and it's hard to answer. I mean, you've got, I suppose, that issue of people being allowed to have their own views on these matters for reasons of faith or any other, and they have the right to express them in a respectful way that they see fit. I guess the issue for us, let's take Scotland, because we're obviously talking about in the context of the Scottish Parliament. It is a matter of law. I personally think it's right that people have that ability to engage in same-sex marriage. There's a separate question, of course, about the views of each individual church and each individual minister in terms of what they do and all of that. But I think as a society, we should celebrate the changes that have taken place. And I've discussed this with many people in my own church, I want the church to be a place that those of all sexualities can find a space to come and worship and to be at peace with God's grace. And I think that's the way that I would probably express it to.
I guess as we come to a conclusion on our time together, one thing I would reflect on, and it's probably best that I do it, is that what Kate Forbes has done is set her plans from the beginning to answer that question in a very straightforward way, and I don't think I did, and she never looks surprised by it. And so I think if you are truthful and upfront with people earlier on, if they choose to walk away from you, then that is their choice. But to be clear is something I think is to be valued. But
no, definitely. I think we all of us need to have honesty, faith, trust, integrity in politics. And I mean, if there are things that you believe, then you have to be able to stand up and say that. Yeah.